What is going on, Bills Mafia? We are back here with another video. I know it's been a while, but we are going to be ranking teams heading into week 13. Let's go. First up, we have the Arizona Cardinals, and I'm going to be giving this team a B, more specifically, a B minus.
The hell you get the B?
The reason I do this is because, if you look at their schedule, they win a few games. They've won against the Jets, the Bears, the Chargers, the Dolphins, the 49ers, and the Rams. And they've kept it close against a couple of good teams like the Bills and Lions, while on the other hand, they've gotten blown out by teams like the Commanders and the Packers. And with their other loss to Seattle by 10, I mean, that's the main reason I'm giving this team a B minus. Next up are the Atlanta Falcons, and I'm going to give this team a B minus. In fact, I'm going to place them below the Cardinals. Here's why. If you look at their schedule here, a blowout loss. They've lost two straight, which isn't good. Like a blowout loss to the Broncos and the Seahawks is one thing. The other losses, like against the Steelers, Chiefs, and Saints, could easily have been prevented. Like in the Chiefs game, I think they could have won this game if they didn't call one of the stupidest fourth down plays I've ever seen. Literally, look at this. I'm literally not lying. Look at this. What was that? You just ran it to the outside on a 4th and 1, or not even 4th and 1, 4th and inches. If you had QB sneaked that, you would have got it and potentially won the game. See what I mean? These self-inflicted losses are why I'm placing this team below the Cardinals. Next up, we have the Baltimore Ravens, and I just have to give all respect. I have to give this team an A. If you look at the Ravens' schedule here, they've beaten some really good teams like the Bills. They actually blew them out, and they beat the Ravens, the Commanders, the Bucks, the Broncos were pretty solid, and they beat the Bengals again. And they've beaten the 7-3 Chargers, who are now 7-4. And I'll be honest, if the Ravens didn't have Derrick Henry, this team would be 6-6 or 7-5 at most, though. That's how much Derrick Henry's been contributing to this offense. Next up are my Buffalo Bills, and wait, what the hell is that? Is this a tier saying Super Bowl winner? Oh my god, you already know where I'm putting my team at. Looking at the schedule here, look who they've beaten. They beat an above 500 Cardinals team. They beaten a Dolphins team where they were actually underdogs in. They blew out the Jaguars, which at some years has bested them. They have lost to the Ravens and Texans, but these losses were more of coaching issues than actual team loss. They beat the Jets, which is always a tough divisional opponent. They beat the Titans, which had a top 5 defense, put 34 on them. Look at the stats here. That looks good. They beat above 500 Seahawks, which is the division leader of the NFC West. They beat the Dolphins, sweeping them. They beat the Colts at Indy for the first time since 1996. Then finally, they have beaten the undefeated Chiefs up to that point. Team doesn't scream Super Bowl contender. Next up, we have the Carolina Panthers. I'm going to be giving this team a D. Not much to say about this team. They kept it close against the Chiefs. They have improved their win total by 1 win. As you see here, that's always a good sign. But other than that, not much. Next up, we have the Chicago Bears, and this team is getting a C. Being a fan of this team must be horrible, because, this team looks so frustrating. They have all the pieces around them to be a 8-9 win team, and they've lost 5 straight, and half of them have not looked pretty, like against the Cardinals and the Patriots. They've had a heartbreaker against the Packers, which was a blocked field goal, and another heartbreaker in overtime. And they've beaten some other teams. They've beaten the Rams. I guess that counts as anything. And other than that, though, they just been inconsistent. Only reason I'm giving them a C is because they look okay with Caleb Williams, and I think they can develop better in the future. Next up, we have the Bengals, and I'm going to be giving this team a C as well. Looking at the Bengals schedule here, a good way to describe this team is me and Madden, dude. Scoring at will, but cannot play defense for anything. Look at this. They scored more than 30 points. 1, 2, 3, for 5 times. 5 times. And looking at a team like the Chiefs, they've scored 30 points once, twice, twice. The entire game. And yet one team's 10-1 and one team's 4-7. I mean, we need some justice for Joe Burrow.
Oh, I just want to get this off my chest. That shit's not my fault. Y'all are trash. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Y'all are trash. Like, y'all are so trash. I want you to know that I'm talking to you, so I'm going to say your name, then I'm going to call you trash.
I mean, look at these stats here. 3,000 yards, 27 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, a 75.6 QPR. These look like MVP numbers. And yet his team is 4-7. I mean, just wild. We need justice for Joe Burrow. Next up, we have the Cleveland Browns, and this is where we are going to be given our first ever F. I mean, not anything much to say about the Browns. They're 3-8. Yeah, 3-8, and they got a nice dub against the Steelers, but other than that, they're garbage. And next, we're on to the Dallas Cowboys, where apparently become Oprah, because you'll get another F. I mean, like, I get the Cowboys beat the Commanders and all, but besides that, they haven't really beat anyone else at the Cowboys. They beat the Giants and the Steelers, whippy-doo. I mean, they really shouldn't have even won against the Commanders, because it's more like the Commanders lost that game themselves. And with Dak out for the season, I mean, there's not really much hope for them, so they're probably going to go like 4-13, maybe 5-12 at the best. Anyways, next up we have the Chiefs, and we're just going to put them there real quick. What was that? Wait, can't put them there? Oh god, fine. Fine. They're in S tier like they deserve. I mean, it's the Chiefs. I mean, yeah, they've only put up 30 points in 2 different games, but I mean, your defense is already doing most of the work anyways. I mean, you don't have to reinvent the wheel every single season. I mean, you're the Chiefs. You're gonna make it to the Super Bowl every single season anyways, so they deserve the S rank. Next up, we have the Denver Broncos, and they've actually been doing pretty well, so I'll give them a solid B tier, above the Cardinals and Falcons. I mean, looking at the Broncos here, I mean, they've actually been doing pretty well. Better than I expected them to anyways. Bo Nix is actually looking really good from what we've seen so far. They've put up a close fight against the Chiefs, which is always nice. They were only a blocked field goal away from winning 3 in a row. I mean, looking at the other schedule here, they did get blown out by the Ravens, but every good team gets blown out by the Ravens. They beat the Saints. They barely lost to the Chargers. They actually destroyed the Buccaneers, who were like 2-0 at the time. Yeah. Anyways, this team's been doing pretty well. They've been impressing me. Keep up the good work. Looking at the Packers here, I think they're a really good team. We'll give them a B plus. I mean, looking at the Packers here, I mean they've lost to the Lions, but they have beat some good teams like the Texans and the Cardinals. You know, some other teams like they haven't had the best schedule, but I mean the teams they have faced are pretty good. They put up a good fight against them. I mean, even the Vikings when they were down like 28-7, they made a almost a comeback at the end actually, which was pretty wild. Which is why I stand with a B plus. Next up, we have the Detroit Lions, and they obviously deserve their S rank.
Tell them to bring me my money.
I mean, nothing else to say here. I mean, they beat all the bad teams. They destroy all the bad teams, actually, and then they beat the good teams. So, I mean, they're definitely Super Bowl contenders. Hey, maybe even a Lions-Bills Super Bowl, that would feed families, like, right there. Next up, we have the Colts, and we're going to be giving them a D. I mean, the Colts, they're 5-7. I mean, they can't get much of anything. I mean, Anthony Richardson's a huge question mark right now because he just hasn't been performing the best. I mean, he performed pretty well against the Jets. But other than that, I mean, if you look at the Lions here, he went 11 for 28 with 172 yards. Did have a pretty solid rushing game, though, but other than that, nothing much. I mean, don't know what to say. The Colts just aren't looking too good right now. Next up, we have the Texans, and I'm actually going to give them a B, just below the Packers and the Broncos. Here's why. I mean, looking at the schedule here, I know the Texans beat the Bills. I'm still mad about that. But looking into this, like they've lost to the Packers, they've lost to the Jets, they've lost to the Titans, and they've lost to the Lions. I mean, they've lost to some really questionable teams. I mean, I guess mainly the Titans and the Jets. I mean, I guess you could say for the Jets that they weren't healthy, but still, they had Joe Mixon and Tank Dell. So, I mean, not really excusable there. It just feels like the Texans aren't really, they're not failing expectations, but they're not succeeding them either. They're like right in the middle. They just don't feel like they need to be where they're at right now. So that's why I'm giving them a B. Here's like the time real quick, and it is, oh my God, it is 11:08 right now. If I keep at the pace I'm going, I'm not getting this video out until like 4 a.m. tomorrow, so we gotta speed it up a little. Alright, you know what? Let's just do a little speed run. Alright, the Jags get an F. The Raiders get a D.
Okay.
The Rams get a C minus to be exact. The Chargers get an A minus. The Dolphins get a D minus.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
The Vikings get a B plus.
You're all stupid. See, they're gonna be looking for army guys.
The Pats get an F. The Saints get an F. The
First time.
Giants get an F.
No, not my first time.
The Jets get a D.
Oh, here we go again.
The Eagles get an A.
What the f is this piece of
The Steelers get an A minus. The 49ers get a C on the dot. The Seahawks get a B over the Cardinals. The Buccaneers get a C over the Bears. The Titans also get an F, and the Commanders get an A minus. That is all for today's video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe down below. Let me know what you thought. And it is very late. I gotta get this video out soon. Alright, see you guys later.